Hi, hello. I'm still trying to figure out where to look. And I moved locations into our bedroom because I'm a perfectionist, okay? And that last video was so damn equity. See, I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today. Not equity, echoey. But here's what I'm talking about today. Today I am discussing money. When I put it on my Instagram, a lot, overwhelming amount of people were very curious about the nitty-gritty financing of our Barndo. And I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. And this is not how everyone does it. This is what's working right for our family. And I'm not weird talking about money because I feel like there's a lot of shame associated with money. And it makes it like a yucky subject that people don't want to talk about. And we're an open book. This is just where we're at, and this is what's working for our family. So when we bought our land, we had to get a HELOC loan, which is like a home equity line of credit, but we did it in a big picture type of way. Originally, we tried doing it through our mortgage company, where the mortgage on this house was through. And when we did that, they said, we're not doing it right now. I think it's because of where interest rates were or something like that. They just weren't touching them. So we decided to go through a small community bank. I will say right now, if you are doing a Barndo of any sorts, you are better off doing a small community bank than you are doing a big national bank. I'm not going to name any names just because you just don't want to give anybody bad press. Not that anybody was bad, but they just don't handle it. So anyways, we went through a small community bank, and what they did was a HELOC loan, is what it's called. So when we did this, they paid off the mortgage on this house, and they paid the land, the cost of our land. We bought our land, 10 acres, for $116,000. And so they wrapped the mortgage that we had in here. And that is the reason that they were able to do that all into one big thing is because the amount of equity that we had in this house, we had about $130,000 in equity. Remodeling pays off. And so what we did, that's my dog scratching at the door. She wants in. So we went with the HELOC loan because the reason being is that it is a line of credit for us to also do some things before we get our construction loan. And so the way that it works is that you pay interest-only payments. Now, what you need to take into account is that I'm not editing out the dog barking because that's real life. She wants in, but she would be horrible in here. So, dogs are almost as bad as kids. So what they did, every time I talk, she barks. Let's try this again. So what you do is they take out your insurance, like your homeowner's insurance. You don't pay that, so you have to be sure to pay that separately. Okay, with a HELOC loan, what they do is it's a line of credit where you only have to make interest-only payments. Hi, Reba. Okay, so you only have to make a child, I'm telling you. You make interest-only payments, and with that, it can do one of two things. It can free up some cash on your side, so you're not actually paying down the principal of the loan that you owe, but also it can make it to where you have an ability to actually pay down more principal, if that makes sense. So let's use plain numbers. So say you have a loan for $100,000. Interest on it might be $200 a month. You can pay just $200 and have that extra money freed up to spend on other things. Or you can pay $1,200 and you are paying down the principal on that loan quicker than on your typical mortgage loan because it's not going to escrow. But something to keep in mind is that is that you will still need to pay your taxes. So you have to keep that in mind. And like I said, your homeowner's insurance will have to be separate as well. So with that being said, a HELOC loan is good, at least the one that we did. It's a low interest rate for 2 years. So our banker was very adamant that we needed to be in a construction loan within 2 years, because after 2 years, you lose that low interest rate and it goes to whatever the market is, so a variable plus 1.5%. It can get high quick. So if you go that route, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just sharing our experience. My opinion would be, if you're gonna go that route, you need to already have a plan in place to get out of it instead of staying in it. Because like I said, unless you're overpaying, you're not paying down the principal, so you're just extending how long you're gonna be in debt for. There's plenty of people that are able to buy and build in cash. Well, we are not those people. We have to finance. So then it comes to our construction loan, which is kind of the phase that we are in now. Our construction loan, we are also doing through the same small county bank, because we developed that relationship with them, and it's actually going to help us in the long run. But with that being, with us being the general contractors on it, we have to provide all of our bids ahead of time, along with our blueprints, so that they can take our bids, our blueprints, send them to an appraiser who will then appraise the value of our home to see if 1 + 1 = 2, and make sure that they are going to be financing the correct amount, that our bids aren't insane. I'm going to tell you how much our bids are. Let me just say, new construction is not cheap. It's not. It hurts me talking about it because it's expensive. And I'll tell you why some of our stuff is more expensive here in a second. But we have to get all that to the bank in order for them to get our construction loan. Now, something that a lot of people aren't aware of is that in order to get a construction loan, you have to put 20% down of the appraised value of the property for your construction loan. Now, for us, that also includes the cost of the land goes into the appraised value. So we bought our land for $116,000. So whatever our bids add up to plus $116,000 is the, she's gonna chew her bone now, is the estimated cost of construction. And so 20% of that. I get interrupted 75 times while I make these videos, I swear. So anyways, 20% down, estimated cost, that's where we were at. And when we do the construction loan, since the land will be free and clear since we've sold our house while we're under contract, when we do the construction loan, the land's paid for, so the value of the land counts towards our 20%. That is our 20%, if that makes sense. So for example, back to 100,000, say your construction was going to cost 100,000 and you had a property value of 20,000, or say your construction was going to cost 80,000 and you had a property value of 20,000, you could use that property to count as your 20% for your construction. I hope that makes sense. It's such a juggling. This was something that I never knew how it all worked or how it was a thing. And I will say, if you go to a bank, don't act like you know what's supposed to be happening, because I literally told our banker, here's what we want to do. You're the expert. Tell me how to make this happen. And that's kind of where we're at. So I'm going to read through the cost of our bids, only to give people an idea. Now, I guess I'll touch on it when I read it. I wrote them down. Hold on. So the building itself, when I say building, that is the foundation, because we are putting a foundation in. We're not pouring straight on grade. So this is the foundation, the concrete floor, the steel structure, roof, sheeting, waterproofing, and then spray foam insulation, as well as our safe room that we are building, which is going to be like a storm shelter / gun safe room, all that sort of stuff. They're building that for us as well. So the building itself is $233,000. Plumbing is $26,000. To put our well in is $18,000. Now here's what I need to say about the well, because some people are going to be like, for a well, Where we are building is in the hills. Our well is going to be about 440 feet deep. So it is a very, 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 very deep well. Our septic is $9,000. Our electrical is $21,000. Our drywall is $22,000. Our framing is $18,500. Our HVAC is $30,000. Our in-floor heat's $24,000. Our kitchen is $23,000. Our tile is $14,000. Our windows are $8,000. Grand total build cost is like $447,000. Now wait, before you're like, you're gonna build a $500,000 house. You must be rich. No, not at all. But some of the things to consider is that we have found a lot of value in some of the things that we are paying for. And that cost that I just read off, those are the prices that we gave the bank. So they are padded. And the reason that they are padded cost is because we would rather come in under budget than have to go back to the bank and ask for more money. I highly suggest that, just because you would rather have them approve you for like $450,000 and you only need like $370 in case something were to happen. In case there's something, wrong with the dirt and you have to do more dirt work than you planned on. Now, we did use some of our HELOC loan, so that's not counted in the construction cost, to do our grading level. We have our building pad flat and ready. We also used it to get our building plans. So those are all done and taken care of. Now, we did not, some new construction builders will put your appliances in your build cost and you will finance them through your mortgage. I'm going to tell you why I don't think that makes sense. There are places like local to us that constantly do 0% interest for 36 months for certain appliances and all that or certain price. What am I thinking of? Certain price categories, like the more you spend, the longer you get. For us, it makes more sense to buy our appliances with a 0% interest rate for 3 years and pay them off as a separate payment than to put them in our mortgage and pay them off for forever with interest. It just money-wise, that's what makes sense to us. We are hoping to have this build because not only are these padded costs, but a lot of the work we're doing ourselves, like our in-floor heat, we bid at $24,000. Jason's going to install it himself, do all the work himself, get a lot of the stuff at cost. We're hoping to put it in for $10,000. So that's an example of some of the sweat equity that's going into this. And same with the HVAC. Like, we are having our in-floor heat for the long term because that's the best heat that you can do in one of these buildings, especially when you are doing spray foam insulation. You're not going to have an issue with ever being cold. And our HVAC will be as secondary backup as well as for our air conditioning. But we bid $30,000 on that. That's what it would cost for somebody to come in and do it. Because Jason knows what he's doing and can do it himself, we're going to try to get it done and do it ourselves for about $10,000. And that's just going to be the cost of materials. That's what we're doing. Now, it would be $450,000 if I had somebody come and do it all. That's just the facts. For frame of reference, our building is going to be 55 feet by 90. Am I saying that right? Yes. 55 feet. I don't know why I just had like a brain lapse. 55 feet by 90 feet with 2 porches on either side of the living space. Square footage of the living space is going to be just shy of 3,500. 4 bedrooms, 4 bath. Well, 3.5 bath. So that's what we're building. That's what we're looking cost-wise. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I can go into more detail. I just know that people don't talk about money very often. I'll also say that a lot of our construction items, we are going to be buying through a local store here called Menards, where they oftentimes have 11% rebate. So we're hoping to roll that in. That's another way that we're planning on saving money. For example, I'm buying my kitchen cabinets through there. Cabinets are $14,000. So I'm gonna end up with like $1,500 in rebates. I can roll that over into light fixtures, ceiling fans, you know, things like that to help pay for it. So that's where we're at. I got in trouble by my children last time I did my first YouTube video because they said, please like and subscribe. So I'm gonna say, hey, see that red button? Can you like and subscribe, or subscribe with the red button and hit the thumbs up for a like. Follow us on Instagram at The Land That Built Us, and we're just gonna keep documenting our journey. Because in about 4 weeks, when we move out of our house into our camper, it's about to get real and pretty freaking wild. So buckle up.